review. I apologize. I didn't show the whole combination of all these things because it's, number one, it's like my first review of any Transformer, and I picked a really complicated one to do it on. So I kind of put everything together, and I'll kind of explain as much as I can on how I got it that way. First, we'll start with Onslaught here. They gave him a new head mold, which I definitely like a lot better than the stock head mold. And basically what that is, you have to remove the other one that comes here, which is a little hook underneath. You just pop it off, and then this one takes some doing, but it'll pop right back on. And then you assemble him the way you would normally if you're going to assemble Bruticus. Fix the camera here. His little waist piece, you want to spin his waist around so that his X is facing backwards, and then there's two little screw holes on either side that this piece will peg into, and then you just go ahead and pop it on in. And then before you complete that, there's a big gun piece in the case. You go ahead and assemble his shotgun, like I said in the last review, and then you peg it in onto his back gun, and then see there's a hole peg, and then hole peg, and you just go ahead and pop them on together. Takes a little bit of doing, but it goes right on, and then it's kind of hard to see. I'll pan the camera back once I get them all done. But yeah, he is his top half is arsenaled up. Let me tell you. Put him to the side real quick, and you got Blast Off here. There's another piece that comes in, which is his arm piece that kind of hard to see right there. There's a little pegs that go insert inside Blast Off or Explorer, and once that in, you're pretty much in. You go ahead, and there's a little peg inside of his feet. You flip around to install his hand, and then I installed the gun on it just because I think it's a little easier to put his gun on now than try to wait till he's all together. But once it's on, man, it sticks, it holds. He moves like a normal arm would. It's pretty freaking awesome. Come over here to Vortex. The two pieces that the hands come in, right here, when you slide the hands out. Oh, and a little note: when you slide the hands out, those things are in there. It's going to take a little bit of trying to wiggle those hands out of there. But once they're out of there, you're good. And then you go ahead and you slide Vortex's feet in, and you see there's little slots on the side of his legs. You just go ahead and just slide them on in. It locks really good. And then there's a peg hole to store his knife or sword, whichever one you want to call it. It's pretty awesome. And you see his hands. They made fantastic hands. On the Superion, they made the three fingers individual move, and they had the one finger move. With this one, they made all of them shift. All have really good working knuckles, except for the thumb. Thumb has no knuckle, but that's all right. You don't need to worry about that one. And then you take the other arm connector piece, and it pegs on. And once this thing pegs on, you're pretty much stuck with it. You could probably get a knife in there to wedge it out, but this thing is locked on. I mean, they were not ever planning on anyone taking that off, too often. You're probably risking damaging something if you went ahead and tried to take that off. But if you're buying this for a kid, then that's probably a bad idea anyway, because this is too expensive to hand off to a little kid to destroy. But that's just my opinion. You do what you want. But that's that arm. And then his legs are pretty much easy. You leave a Brawl just transformed, and there's let go. There's peg holes. You just go ahead and shove them on in, and it's really nice. What they did was they allowed it to shift. Using the other side, you know, so you can get different stances, which is awesome. You know, and do the same thing with Swindle. You know, he has 2 pegs in the front, and I got to go ahead and take them off because both his front end and this thing move, and it's just a pain. You know, so then you go ahead, and remember, I'll pan back once I get this all done. Go ahead and you peg in. Swindle. Peg in. Oh, this back's moving. There you go. And peg in Vortex and blast off. And there you have, I'll peg back for you a little bit. And there you have Bruticus. He is awesome. And, you know, let me pan back here real quick for a second. He is considerably bigger than Bruticus. You know, when you stand him up side by side. Not, you know, I'd say maybe an inch or 2 bigger. He's definitely wider. He's definitely bulkier, which I think is a tad bit. I mean, I always thought they were the same, especially since Superion was made by jets, you know, and a Humvee and a tank are considerably the same size, but there's still a lot more mass to them. So Superion, if anyone, should have been bigger, but you know, that's all right. I'm not gonna complain about it. But altogether, Bruticus is awesome. You know, why they didn't make him like this from the factory, I'm not sure. I would have definitely paid a lot more than what I paid for him at Toys R Us. I mean, not Toys R Us, I'm sorry, the Target. If he was like this from the get-go, you know, he is easily worth the money I paid for him. He stands great. The pieces work fabulous. He is armed to the teeth. And I think right now, if it was a war between Superion and Bruticus, unless Superion's got some skills we don't know about, Bruticus got a lot more firepower to take him out. So, yeah. That is the Explorer Munitioner Bruticus add-on kit.